Hello and welcome to the Organic Beehive. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a few of our very favorite Advent traditions this time of year. So today I'm sharing 3 different ideas for Advent that I really love to incorporate into the Christmas season, just to get back to the real reason for the season. In today's world, you know, I always hear the song playing in my head. It's the most wonderful time of the year, which is very ironic because I play this song when I am maybe driving around like a Target or, you know, a strip center like that. And it's so busy, it's so crowded, full of people with gifts, and you know, people are going into debt over buying all these gifts for other people that, you know, they might not even want to buy for, but it's this expectation because this person is giving to me, so I need to give them too. And it's very materialistic this time of year as well. Consumerism is really big. You can see it among so many different social media sites. You know, people are sharing gift guides left and right. And I know that these can be really great ideas if your values align with that specific influencer, blogger, what have you. But at the same hand is I don't necessarily want to promote that consumerism on my channel. Now, I understand that as a blogger or YouTuber or whatever you are, you do make money off of, you know, what people are purchasing through your affiliate links or sponsorships or anything like that. And although I do share some things on my channel, I want to be very intentional about what I share, and I don't necessarily want to bombard you with promotions and sponsors left and right, especially if it doesn't align with me. So I think you hear me talk. You know, I've mentioned a few things here and there. Oh my gosh. Real life, right? You know, I do talk about products I love. The products that I share, I make sure they are, you know, healthy for your family. If I'm talking about food, I want to make sure that it is organic. It doesn't have all the artificial flavors and food dyes and all of that. That's not what I'm about. I guess what I'm trying to say is I have standards for my family, and if you agree with my lifestyle, those standards also bleed through into what I share on this channel. And also, you guys know I am a one single income family. So we don't have a lot to spend day in and day out. And so I have to be purposeful with how I spend my money. And I don't necessarily, you know, spend money on frivolous things, and I comparison shop and all those things. So when I do share the products I love, they meet my standards, but they're also reasonably priced. I have shopped around. So I just want you to have a little comfort in knowing that that is my, I guess, requirements for what I share on this channel. But I don't want this season to be about that. And it really has gotten to be about buying and Amazon and all these things. And it's very hard this time of year to teach the values that are important to me while my daughter is experiencing what culture values. So in my home, I have my own set of traditions that she enjoys, but that also brings our mindset back to why we truly celebrate Christmas. So if you agree with how I feel on how Christmas should be celebrated, then I invite you to grab a cup of tea or coffee or a warm, cozy beverage and just watch and see my tips on how I like to prepare for Christmas and what we do for Advent. Now, these ideas that I'm going to share in my mind are very easy to prep. So I will see the most beautiful photos on Instagram or Pinterest on what people do with their tiny homeschoolers. And like I said, it's beautiful. And when I see these pictures, I have this idea in my head that if I were to do it, it's going to look exactly like that photo. Peaceful and beautiful and all the things, right? And then when we actually go and do the activity, it's nothing like the picture. The child has made a mess, or the amount of prep work it took to actually make it or spend money on is just unfathomable. Like, we start to do it and then we become stressed in doing it. These ideas today are not meant to stress you out. All the ideas are right here for you. The most that you really need to do for any of these is maybe purchase a couple items, but once you purchase it, it's all there and you can reuse it year after year after year if you'd like. And then also, the only other prep might be to print out a few things. That's it. If an activity takes too much time on my part to do, I find that I don't necessarily do it. I am a mom that has many different duties, and although homeschool is one of them, I also cannot spend all of my free time on prepping for homeschool. So I need things to be very, very easy. So the first thing, now I know there are wonderful, beautiful Advent calendars out there, and you get to unwrap these things every single day, and you get chocolates and candies and all sorts of fun things. But in my mind, I still think that promotes consumerism. Now, don't get me wrong, I still like to give my daughter treats now and then, but I don't want to make it a regular thing. I want it to feel special. So I don't purchase any Advent calendar like that. Instead, I got this really cheap mailbox from Dollar Tree. Now, they have these around Valentine's Day. And so I purchased one Valentine's Day last year. I painted it because it did say Valentine's Day. So now it's more neutral to where I can use it whenever I want. And so every day, the idea is I will place something in the mailbox. Now, it could be a treat if that's what you decide to do for that day. And every once in a while, I actually do put a little treat in there. But I also, for the most part, I will slip a piece of paper in here with an activity that we can do as a family, or an activity that makes her think about, you know, what Christmas is about. Jesus was about love. And in order to serve Jesus, you know, we want to be able to spread the love to others as well. And that's something that I think is great to practice. I mean, obviously all year round, but really to focus on in this time of year. So I will also put activities in here that give her ideas on how to spread that love. So maybe we go Christmas caroling at a nursing home, or we find a gift for Toys for Tots and, you know, send Toys for Tots a gift. Things of that nature I will also add to the mailbox. And in the morning when it is time for her to come downstairs, if the flag is up, she has mail and she knows to look in here and find her little surprise. This is great because it doesn't take much prep. Again, sometimes I'll just take a Post-it note, write my idea down and throw it in there. I do admit sometimes it's difficult to remember at night when they're in bed, so I just make sure to say, you never know when the flag is up, and so she doesn't have that expectation, but I do my best to do it at night. My second tip for an Advent tradition would be getting the book called The Giving Manger. Now, The Giving Manger is a story that you can read to your children on December 1st, and it goes through, you know, the dad has announced a new tradition that he wants to do with the family, and it begins December 1st. And so, of course, the kids are so excited to get this gift. And what he ends up giving them is a wooden manger. Now, if you do purchase this book, you will get the wooden manger as well. And of course, the kids see this wooden manger and are quite disappointed with the gift. And the dad goes on to explain that that Christmas, they're going to celebrate, obviously, Jesus coming into the world. And he talks about how Jesus spent his life loving and serving others. And so through the wooden manger and the gift that he gave the kids, he explains that they are going to offer gifts to Jesus by serving and helping others as well. And so every time that they help or serve somebody else, they will have a straw to add to the manger. And the goal is to have as much straw in the manger by Christmas so that Jesus has a nice, warm and soft manger to sleep in when he is born. And so if you end up purchasing the Giving Manger, you will get the book along with the manger, the straws, and then the little baby Jesus to go with it. And I just think it's such a great focus for Christmas because we're concentrating on serving others, which I believe was what Christmas is originally intended for, and we have gotten so far away from. So it also has ideas in the back of the book for little ones to be able to do, or even teens. I mean, sometimes, I hate to admit, sometimes I need ideas as well. And it's just been so great to do as a family, because what you're going to start seeing is that everybody is just so eager to help each other out. And then we start to see this shift in our mood when we are working as a team really well. And not to say that we don't work as a team, but you know, with any child, there comes a complaining and things like that. And so this kind of, with everybody helping each other, I think it's really easy to see that shift in mood with these activities. Now, sometimes I get in my head with these types of activities because honestly, I would love for my daughter to want to help, you know, intrinsically. I want her to feel the need to do that by herself and not have that extrinsic motivation, say like bribing. But when you think about it, this isn't necessarily a bribe. All we're doing is, you know, the child has a visual of how much they are helping others. And it just helps them to see what they are doing. And in the end, there is no, you know, reward for her doing those straws. So if you think about, if you're like me and you think about the intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation, you know, like I said, I guess there's the reward of putting the straw in, but in the end, they aren't getting a reward for helping others. It does end up becoming intrinsic, if that makes sense. And then my very last Advent tradition that I'm really excited about, I have done the mailbox and the giving manger in years past. I don't recommend you do all three. It becomes a little overwhelming. So picking one is perfectly fine. This is a new purchase that I got this year. So it's kind of like a two-part deal. I got, I don't want to say curriculum, but I guess a curriculum around Advent by the Peaceful Press. And she has one, actually I think she has a bundle. She has a Christmas guide, but the one that I got is Advent. And with this guide, with the Advent guide, she also pairs it with a book called All Creation Waits by Gail Boss. And so what you do is every day you will read a story from All Creation Waits. There are 25 stories in here, or I guess chapters, if you will. So if you open up the book, you have Advent 1. So this would be the story that you would read for the first day of Advent. And then she goes on with Advent 2, 3, so on and so forth. And each day focuses on a different animal, and each animal has a particular way that they prepare for winter, and it goes into some fun science stuff on what they do, how their body adapts to the colder weather. And it's really interesting for me as an adult to read too. So there is some learning involved, and our family really resonates with this guide, this Advent guide from the Peaceful Press, because we are just big animal lovers here, and my daughter loves spewing out interesting animal facts to people. So this kind of just goes deeper into her passion. So if your child has a passion for animals too, this might be a really great guide to purchase for yourself. So each day focuses on a different animal. And then with the guide, each day so this is the kind of the format that would happen. You would read the story for the day, and then you would read the script for that day. And the script is really great because it helps correlate Christmas and the values that go with thinking about Christmas into the story. So the script will help you with that. And then after the script, after you read the script, and obviously you don't have to read the script, but it gives you an idea of what to focus on as a family. And then after the script, you would read there's like an activity. And normally the activity doesn't really go into a lot of prep that you need. It mostly is, you know, pondering about a question. So today was ask your children to describe a favorite Christmas memory. What made it special to them? And then you can have them write it down, or you can just talk about it. I think it's just fun to be able to relate to each other and talk as a family. So that's what we like to do every night. And then if you prefer, now this depends on the personality of your child, whether they're into art or not, but they also in the guide have a printable ornament for each animal so that you are reminded day in and day out the different focuses throughout the season. Now you don't have to do the printables. If you want to get fancy, you can get fancier. I mean, there's fun clay ornaments that you can do, and you can form the different animals. I like easy, so I just like printing it out and then having them color it in. But my daughter is a little bit older. I don't think that would last much longer, but either way, I love the questions behind it because it really makes all of us think about what this season is really meant for. Remember, we're not trying to promote consumerism. We are trying to promote, you know, what Christmas is. It's about Jesus being born. It's about, and what did he do in his life, and how can we celebrate his birth? We can celebrate by serving and helping others and giving, and that's really why we're giving presents throughout the year. But like I said, I just don't like the expectation of it all, and I'm trying to get more into, you know, like a slower pace when it comes to preparing for Christmas. So I hope you found those ideas helpful. They're just 3 traditions. Again, you don't have to do them all, but it's just a great way to spend time with your family and discuss these important topics for the season. If you liked this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you're new here, welcome, and be sure to leave a comment below. What are some of your favorite Advent traditions that help us focus on the more meaningful? Thanks so much for being here. I like to share everything home, from homesteading to homeschooling and homemaking. So if that resonates with you, please be sure to subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.